The clinking of glasses had just settled when her voice rang out, smooth, confident, and dripping with something I couldn't quite name. "To my future divorce settlement," she said, raising her champagne flute high above the table. Laughter erupted around us, polite, nervous, uncertain whether it was a joke or a barb hidden in crystal. But I froze. My fork slipped from my fingers, clattering onto the plate. The restaurant's candlelight flickered against her face, and she was smiling. Smiling as if my birthday toast was the perfect stage for betrayal. I tried to laugh with the others, to pass it off as some dark humor she'd picked up from TV. But inside, something cracked, a fissure running through the foundation of everything I thought we were. The rest of dinner passed in a blur. People chatted, glasses refilled, plates cleared. I watched her across the table, the way she leaned closer to her wine than to me, how her eyes sparkled only when she was speaking to others, never when they landed on mine. She was distant, unreachable, like someone already halfway gone. When the last dessert spoon clinked and guests began to rise, I caught her hand. "What was that?" I asked, my voice low but sharp enough to cut. She tilted her head, feigning innocence. "What was what?" "The toast. Divorce settlement." Her smile didn't falter. "Relax, Mark. It was a joke." But it hadn't felt like one. Not to me. On the drive home, silence thickened the air between us. The city lights streaked past the windshield, cold and indifferent. I gripped the steering wheel tighter than I should have, knuckles pale, jaw locked. She hummed quietly beside me, scrolling her phone, as if the night hadn't just ripped open a wound I didn't know I had. Back at the house, she disappeared into the bedroom without another word. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the half-empty bottle of wine she'd brought back from the restaurant. I poured myself a glass, the bitter taste clinging to my tongue, and wondered if I had just witnessed the first open crack in our marriage, or if it had been crumbling for far longer than I cared to admit. The next few days were filled with subtle signs I had always brushed aside but could no longer ignore. Her laughter in the other room while her phone lit up with messages. The way she angled the screen away when I walked in. The lingering scent of cologne on her blouse. Masculine, not mine. I asked questions, but her answers came too fast, too rehearsed. Work call. Perfume from a friend. You're paranoid. Maybe I was. Or maybe I had been blind for too long. One night, I woke to find her side of the bed empty. I padded down the hallway, the house silent except for the faint murmur of her voice. She was in the living room, phone pressed to her ear, whispering words I couldn't fully make out. But I caught one sentence, clear as glass. "Don't worry, he suspects nothing." My chest tightened, air stuck in my throat. I stumbled back to the bedroom before she caught me, sliding under the covers and forcing my breathing into steady rhythm. When she returned minutes later, I pretended to sleep, though my entire body trembled. The next morning, she was bright, affectionate even, as though nothing had happened. She kissed me on the cheek and brewed my coffee just the way I liked it. But I tasted ash. I started watching her differently after that. Her stories had gaps. Her eyes darted too quickly. Her touch felt like obligation rather than love. Each day, I pieced together fragments, weaving them into a truth I wasn't ready to face. One evening, unable to hold it in, I confronted her. "Emily, are you seeing someone else?" Her expression didn't crack. She set her glass down slowly, folded her hands, and looked me in the eye. "Why would you even ask me that?" "Because you don't look at me anymore," I said, my voice trembling. "Because you joke about divorce in front of everyone like our marriage is already dead. Because I hear you at night, whispering to someone you don't want me to know about." The silence between us was heavy, suffocating. Her lips parted, but no denial came. No anger. No shock. Just a long, weary sigh. "I never meant for it to go this far," she said finally, her voice quiet. The room spun. My stomach lurched. I wanted to shout, to rage, to demand details, names, reasons. But all I could do was whisper, "Why?" Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Because somewhere along the way, we stopped being us. You were always working, always tired. I felt invisible. And then, someone noticed me again. I didn't plan it. It just happened." The explanation hit me harder than if she'd spat venom. Because it wasn't just betrayal, it was the acknowledgement that I had failed her too, that love had slipped through our fingers while I wasn't looking. I stood, pacing, my breath uneven. So what now? You just walk away? You leave me with a toast for my birthday and call that closure? Her tears finally fell, silent streaks down her cheeks. I don't know what I want, Mark. I don't know if I can fix this. I can't keep lying. Her honesty was a knife that cut clean and deep. That night, I sat alone in the dark after she went to bed. The house felt foreign, each corner filled with echoes of laughter and love that no longer belonged here. I stared at the wedding photo on the mantel, two smiling faces, naive and certain of forever. And I realized the cruelest part of betrayal isn't the act itself. It's the moment you understand that the person you loved most became a stranger long before you knew it. Her toast had been more than a joke. It had been the truth, disguised as laughter, hidden in plain sight. And I had been too blind, too trusting, to see it until it was too late. In the morning, she stirred beside me, her hand brushing mine as though nothing had changed. But inside, everything had. Because when she raised her glass that night, she wasn't just joking. She was already preparing for a life without me. And now, I couldn't unhear the words. I couldn't unsee the cracks. All I could do was wonder if our marriage had ended the moment she said them, or if it had ended long before, and I had simply been the last one to notice.